And this is a trial run of a little experiment we like to call the Art Bros.
Art Bros.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about Starry Night.
Vincent van Gogh's magnum opus.
Yes.
Well, at least widely considered to be.
Now, Fancy Dave, I know you are a huge Van Gogh guy.
I am
So why don't you go ahead and take the lead on this one?
Well, Starry Night, made by Vincent van Gogh.
1889.
Landscape painting.
Oil on canvas.
Post-impressionism.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about it?
What do I like? The contrast, really. And it's kind of dreamlike, really.
And that's something to be said because it's dreamlike. It's a starry night.
Yeah.
So that overall, that is very appropriate, extremely appropriate. I wish you guys could see me moving my hands.
You know, the interesting thing is Vincent van Gogh never considered this a good painting.
Well, what did he consider a good painting?
I don't know. I just know he was never really... he didn't really feel that much for this one.
Yeah.
But, strangely enough, this is considered probably his best painting, maybe? Or
Well,
at least...
his most well-known.
Most well-known.
Yeah.
It's in a MoMA, so if you want to see it up close and personal, it's over there.
That's the actual thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was really upset when I heard that some of the paintings I've seen are just kind of like replicas.
Mm-hmm. But
Either way, Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, the thing I love the most about it is the curves in the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
And just how they go into each other, the curvilinear lines, and they obviously, that is the dreamlike state. The contrast, what do you mean by the contrast?
Well, look, the blue, and then he contrasts that with a very warm color with the star of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom, you can see some of the lights from the houses inside. And I think it does a good job of keeping balance with the painting.
Yeah.
So you have these very strong, cadmium yellows up there.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit at the bottom, so your eye doesn't, wander.
It's not an
just to
awkward
that one space.
transition. Yeah.
And this big spire of a tree just, kind of gives a nice, how would you say... I don't know, it cuts up the painting nicely.
It does. It's the composition, the overall composition. That spire coming out is in the right
and
place.
It ties the landscape into the skyline.
Oh, completely.
Yeah,
completely. Yeah, it's kind of like again, for lack of better words, our transition.
Ladder into heaven.
All right, ladder to heaven. And you notice that there's a lot of repeating themes in this. We have the spire.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, I think it's called a cypress.
Yeah,
the tree is replicated in the church.
Mm-hmm. And a smaller scale, but yeah, it's there.
Scale, yeah, but we have replication there. That's something that I was mind blown when I found. We also have the way the sky is. It's curvilinear, the roundness of it is repeated in the mountains in the background too.
It's almost like a storm is going through the landscape here, up in the sky, and even down to some of those mountains in the background.
I see it more as like a Milky Way.
It's a Milky Way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me is the Starry Night isn't the yellow, the stars. It's the curves. Because that's, for me, when I think of the Starry Night, I think of the way the stars move throughout the night. And maybe that's what Van Gogh was trying to go for, how he knows that the stars are going from left to right or whatnot. And this is capturing, I believe this is capturing that movement of how the stars just go above us while we're sleeping down in our little village.
Yeah,
he's got a village there.
If you notice from some of his later paintings, when he started going a little more mentally
insane,
he has a deep reverence for nature. Look how much the sky, nature, overtakes that little village down there.
1880. When did he die?
I forget.
Oh, we should look that up for next time. But yeah, because we can see whether this. I mean, if you are going insane, he probably took a lot of solace in nature. Especially, he's the one that did the haystacks, right?
He did a version of it.
He did a version, but he's not the one that did.
I think that was one of the
Monet.
Impressionists.
I think it might have been Monet.
Yeah, it was one of the Impressionists.
Right.
But yeah, and look how, compared to other paintings of the time, even the Impressionists, how far away it goes away from that.
Oh, it's such a departure. I mean, it's not too much of a departure, but it's kind of it's the next in art, not art terms, logical step.
Impressionism.
Post-impressionism.
All right, I guess a little rundown on post-impressionism.
Please.
All right. Impressionism started around the French artists of that era.
Right.
Painting outside, and as a response to the camera.
En plein air.
Yep. And as a response to the camera, they focus more on color and things.
Yes, things that the camera couldn't capture.
Yeah. Like shape, movement, the glimmer of light on something. So that's where Impressionism started. But the post-Impressionists, influenced by the Impressionists, wanted to take that a step further. So you had like these radical departures like pointillism and things like that. And Van Gogh were...
Pointillism?
I think it is, right?
I assumed that was classified under Impressionism. But what I consider post-impression is like Cezanne.
Yeah.
With the whole blocks of color thing going on, you know, the focus more on the geometric of things and the colors of things. You know, like a little further than the Impressionists took them. That's what I always consider post-impressionist.
I guess pointillism because of it's, you know, a dot. It's one color rather than a piece of a bigger thing. Right. It's the illusion of that. Right. But what else is there? Well, yeah, it also shows like Van Gogh's like obsession with the nocturnal. Like a lot of his paintings take place during the nighttime. Yeah, like the Night Cafe is another one of his famous ones. Yes. Very much so. We should talk about that next. But the thing that I noticed about Van Gogh is that the night are two different. Like the night can be classified as two different things for him. In some paintings, the night, like the Night Cafe, is menacing. It's very uninviting. But this one is so serene. It's so calm. It's so warm. Really? I don't see it as calm. I completely see it as I don't mean calm as in like there's obvious movement in it. But like we said before, it's a dreamlike state. You know, it's more like it's inviting movement. It's nothing too like there's no sharp edges in this. Though there are some sharp edges in it. But it's more like like even the houses should be geometric. They're curved in a way. Yeah. Like yeah, I see that. It's more like if you start from the houses and start spreading out like an arc, like things get more and more curved. More spread out. Like the houses are more like packed in. Yeah, like they're tighter. But as you go up, like everything's just flowing. Yeah, I see that. I do. I really like those mountains and how they echo the sky. But the sky will always be the most dominant. Well, what do you think is more dominating, the sky or the big cypress? If that cypress wasn't there, would this still be the same kind of picture? No, obviously not. No. But are the shapes in the sky, the curve and all that, are they strong enough? Because when people see this, they think of the stars, but they forget. They take that cypress for granted. I was about to take the cypress for granted. You know, I heard someone say, I forgot who, so I'm sorry, but they said the cypress acts as an anchor to the land below, compared to there. And not just that, it's the anchor. It's a transition because if you look at the cypress, it's made of curvilinear lines. It's made of these vines that echo the curves in the sky. Yeah. This guy knew what he was doing. Yeah. Or at least he practiced enough through trial and error, which was probably a lot. Like, they say Van Gogh is also kind of like a failed artist in some ways, because he was trying to capture in the beginning at least like those old masters. Right. But he couldn't quite do it, or he kept doing his own thing enough that he kept straying further and further away from that. I understand. Well, I mean, isn't that the plight of every art student? I guess. We try to copy the masters, and we end up finding our own thing. In the pursuit of copying the masters, we find out who we are. And that's what Gogh did. Yeah. But here's another thing that Van Gogh. I mean, he obviously didn't have, like, at least that I'm aware of, formal training. Right. So, and because he was living alone without much exposure to other artists besides Gauguin, is he technically an outsider artist? Is he an outsider? He was insane, and he painted and did his art outside the traditional art, like, society. Interesting. So is he, like, one of the first true outsider artists? I mean, I believe that. I do. Yeah, I started thinking about that. I believe that. I mean, the other question is, if we saw Van Gogh, like, do we have Van Goghs nowadays that we take for granted? You know, he wasn't respected. He was he was in shows, but only because apparently his brother got him into those shows. You know, what's sad was I heard he was starting actually to get some recognition by the time he was about to kill himself. Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, well, what else can we say about Starry Night? Starry Night? Actually, it's one of my favorite paintings. It's a good one. Yeah. I do enjoy it. What about the color palette here? Oh, the color palette. Oh my god, we're getting specific. A lot of blues, right? The nice contrast between that very, very hard yellow. Very hard yellow.
Interestingly enough, a lot of whites too. Don't forget about
whites?
those. Well, not white, but like they're I guess they're blues as well. They are blues and greens. I think the biggest contrast for me is the blues and the greens.
Blues and greens.
Yeah, blues and greens.
Specifically, what though?
The cypress.
No, but I mean, what about that? Wouldn't that be more like a analogous color?
The way I see it is, I kind of see a sort of like a value scale going on here, like palette.
Oh yeah, blue,
wise.
Green, yellow.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh shit, bro bumps,
art bro bumps. But yeah, it's a good one. I don't know what else to say about this.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
Hit the link. You can see it in all its detail.
Yeah, go. Just zoom in on this thing because they go crazy.
Yeah,
he goes crazy.
Put the link down in the description.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you want to have any other closing thoughts?
I like it.
You like it?
It's good. It's a good one.
Oh.
It's one of the most powerful pieces I've ever seen, and it's kind of one of the pieces that made me realize how much I appreciate art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's your favorite.
It is my favorite. Well, out of his paintings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, out of his paintings. Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. And it was an honor to see it in person.
Yes, if that is the real one.
Yeah, if that is the real one. That's true. It's smaller than you think, people.
Mm-hmm.
It's smaller than you think. All right.
What else is there? Well, did you hear he might have eaten his own paints?
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Should we talk some Van Gogh trivia?
Jesus Christ. He didn't cut his ear off for a prostitute.
No.
He didn't.
His art buddy, Paul Gogh, he tried to get him to live with him in a small house. He said he was leaving him, so he freaked out, and he cut off just the earlobe and gave it to a prostitute.
There we go. That's what it was. His brother was a huge, his pretty much his benefactor.
Yeah,
and he was a big reason that we have the Van Gogh paintings. Mm-hmm. His brother encouraged
intact
him and paid for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Like not. I mean, like he literally bought the paints for Van Gogh and bought him studio and galleries, time and whatnot. Yeah, I know about that.
Let's see. His favorite drink was absinthe.
Oh yeah,
and that might have aggravated some certain problems he had.
Yeah, I think it's called.
Let's see. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
All right,
guys. Art Bros at you.
Art Bros out.
Art Bros out. Art Bros out.